What's going on, everyone? Sneaky Mofo here. Today I'm going to show you how to make a trainer in Cheat Engine, or how I make trainers. This is quick and dirty sort of stuff here. And as my skills grow as a programmer, which I'm studying C++ right now, and then starting to dive into Lua so that I can actually do things. In the meantime, this is my solution. Long story short, I suck at, I have no idea how to make a trainer look like how I want it to look graphically. The only way I know how to do that is through Photoshop because graphics are a part of my actual job. So I wanted to create something in Photoshop and make the trainer look like that. And I wanted to keep the functionality of whatever cheats I have and do it as quickly as possible. So this is my method at the moment for creating a trainer using Cheat Engine. And I'll do another one later once I've gotten much better with programming. This is definitely like hacky sort of stuff here. Alright, so anyway, this is the trainer I'm going to be showing you how I created. Okay, so the first thing is, like I said, Photoshop is a part of my job, so what I did is I hopped in Photoshop and I created this image. Alright, keep note of your image size because we're going to be messing with Cheat Engine's trainer generator to set up our proportions or whatever in the application to what we want it to be specifically. Okay, so I am a member of a site called Dollar Photo Club, and Adobe owns it now, so it's more expensive to get images from there, unfortunately. But I'm grandfathered in since I've been a member of the site since before that acquisition. So, like the picture of this anime chick, I downloaded it from there for $1. So, yeah, I invest just a small bit of money into this stuff, but it's, inconsequential. Anyway, so there's that. So I hopped in here, created my image, then I saved it as a ping, and also I created an icon. So my little sneaky mofo eyes here, I created a ping of just that. And then I went to, let's see, it's convert. Hang on, let me open up my browser in this other monitor here. Convertico.com, and you can convert a ping to a .ico, and that'll be for your application. Let me minimize this. So there's basically the icon that Windows has applied that shield to it automatically, but that's the icon that I decided to use for this trainer. Alright, so you'll want to do that too, perhaps. Anyway, now that you have your image, I've got a folder here, trainer assets. Okay, what I like to do is whenever I'm hacking a game, I have a folder for it. And then anything I do in that game or that I download for trainers or whatever, I kind of have everything in this one mess of a folder, which I'll usually sort later afterward, but all my notes and just everything. Well, then I'll have a trainer assets folder where all the images and sounds and things that I want related to the trainer I'll store there. The first thing that you need is your cheat table. You need to have found your cheats, whatever you want to have in the trainer. Okay, so save that as a cheat table. And I'm going to open, I created demo.ct. I'm going to open that in Cheat Engine. Okay, so here are all of my cheats basically, and I've set it to where everything's hidden until I activate the group header or whatever it is. So anyway, what you want to do is for every cheat that you want to have in your trainer, alright, you have to set a hotkey for it. So you can go set hotkey. Alright, so for this one, I have the hotkey set for, I think this one? Set change hotkeys. Yeah, for this one here. Alright, so, if you've got your cheat, what you'll do is, you right click on the cheat, you choose that to set change hotkey, create a hotkey, which is just as simple as click that button. Then whatever you type in here on your keyboard is what's going to show up. So you could do like Alt F2. And the reason you heard that ding is because I have my actual trainer up still. And that's the activation sound that I have. So anyway, I'm going to close that at the moment. All right, so Alt F2, we can say that disables the script. And then the description, we could say disable insta topless, and then click apply. And there's that. So then we can go back to here, we can edit this hotkey to say that Alt F1 actually enables the script. And then we can say enable insta topless, apply. All right, so that's the hotkey, that's what it does, and then we just have our own description for what it does. All right, so we can say okay. Now, if we wanted something else in the trainer, like all of these things, we would need to go in, right-click, set hotkeys, create hotkey for every one. Okay. All right. So now that you have that, what you want to do is go to File. Now you can either attach to the game now if you have it open, or just don't attach at all, and I'll show you why. All right. So whether you're attached or not will depend on what I'll show you in just a second here. So go to File, Generate Generic Trainer Lua Script from Table, and you'll get this that pops up. All right, this is what your trainer would look like right now if you exported it. All right, you see it's pulled our hotkeys. All right, it has our description, and here it says this is the hotkey. If you press that, this is the effect. All right, well, we want to design our own. So what we can do is, the first thing you want to do is uncheck this box that says user can resize window. All right, because you can get in, it's not really a big deal, but if you're manually designing yours and you go, ah shit, I forgot to uncheck that, whenever you do it, it moves it to the center of the screen here. It's just a minor annoyance, not a big deal. But that'll keep someone from being able to click on the corner here and resize the trainer, you know. You can either support Cheat Engine or don't support Cheat Engine. If you have to support Cheat Engine, there'll be a little like banner that you can click through or whatever. Process name here. This is where if you were attached to the game right now, it would already have the name of the process right here. But if you happen to know what it is, HuniePop.exe, that's what it's going to be. You can just type it in manually like that. All right. The title of your trainer, you can get rid of the about text, and then we can say Sneaky Mofo Trainer. And you see right here it's populating it. So that's going to be where the title of the trainer shows up. All right. And then we can set icon. This is where, whenever I told you, you can go and convert a ping to an ICO. All right. So that's what I did. So icon picker, I just double clicked on the big set of eyes there, brought that up. If you want your trainer to play music, you can do it here. Play or activate, or play sound on activate, deactivate. You can check that so that whenever you activate or deactivate your cheat, there will be, or those are the default ones. From audiojungle.net, I bought a couple of sounds off of there that I use for my activate, deactivate. And you can click add sounds to add your own manually. This basically means how long it waits for your keyboard input. So technically, if you had this too low, if you hit Alt F1, it would be like you're hitting it a ton of times. Like if you had 0 here, you would hear this activate sound like a ton of times. So just keep that what it is. Output is going to be EXE. So now that we've got this stuff sort of set up, now we can go in and design the interface manually. So you'll click this button right here. All right, and that brought up this small window here, this, and then we've still got our trainer up, and we've still got this up. All right, so the things that we want to keep are anything that you see like this: cheat 0, T-cheat, cheat 1, T-cheat. All right, any of those that you see, you want to keep those. Now you have to be careful because this can be kind of buggy. So you know, the more you do this, you'll inevitably run into some small issues. But just remember that you want to try to, first of all, have the cleanest cheat table you can. Okay, so, you know, if you've had any stuff in here, any addresses, things that you've modified, instructions, whatever, I will create a new cheat. So for this demo, I happen to have stuff in here. Normally, I would delete this. I would delete any stuff in the cheat table I'm not using, like to do. I would get rid of that whole thing. I would only have in here the cheats and their hotkey combinations, and that's it. All right, so have as clean of a cheat table as possible whenever you get started with this. All right, so as you click on each of these things here, you can see what they are. So the separator is that. Then this is this is an image. This is where you could have an image, like a little sidebar here of maybe your game or something like that. This is the about button. You could click it to learn about your trainer or whatever. So all these interactive things that you have automatically. And if you learn Lua, then you can program these buttons to do stuff, and you can really get silly with what you create here. But like I said, this is quick and dirty, so the only thing I want to keep are these two things right here and the actual form. So what you can do is click that, hit delete. All right, I'm going to click that, I'm going to hit delete. Now right here, don't delete that. We'll delete what's under that, but we'll keep the cheats. So I'll click and drag that up to here, and then I'll do the same thing with cheat 1. Now we can delete this cheat panel. We can delete the about button. We can delete this image. So all that we're left with is our form, and we are left with our cheats, which show here. The reason we're keeping these is because all the functionality of our cheats, when we hit Alt F1, that's built into these right here. So once again, this is quick and dirty. This is you not having to do any programming and get in here and change stuff. All right, so you want to keep your cheats. And so now we want to click on the trainer form, and we want to change the size to be whatever our image was that we had. So I had, let's see, width of 480, enter. I had a height of 500, enter. All right, and you see that our trainer is changing to those things. And now what we want to do is we want to add an image to this. We want our image to show up. So right here in the form designer, you see the little picture here. Just click that, and then you can click anywhere in here. Okay. And I will click and drag this like up into this corner here, and then I will resize that to be 500 height, 480 width. Okay. And now right here where it says picture, T-picture, you'll click the ellipses over here and click load. And the image that you exported from Photoshop or GIMP or whatever, that's what you'll find. So I exported it to background.png. I'll double click that, and then I'll say OK. And there we go. So now I can click back on the trainer form here, and sometimes you'll see just on the left side, maybe you'll see some dots as if the picture isn't quite over far enough. So then what you can do is just click on your picture, click and hold, and you can move it left or right. So mine's fine, I'll just keep it there. Alright, so we're almost there. Now we have our cheats, we have that image. Alright, we can move the image up here. Let's see. How do I reorder that? Bring to front. Bring to front. Send to back. I'm sure I could just do that, but anyway. So what I want to do is change these to where they don't show up. So the easiest way that I found to do that initially when I was digging around here is changing the width, height, top, and left to 0. So we'll set the width to 0, top 0, left 0, height 0. And that puts that up here in the corner. No one's going to see it. This little box here is just for us to see like where we could resize it and stuff like that, right? So now we click on this one. We're going to do the same thing. Width 0, top 0, left 0, height 0. All right, cool. So there we go. That's pretty much all that you have to do. We've hidden those two things. We've still got the functionality of the hotkeys for the cheats, but now we have our image. So, let's say you went in, you had to change something for your image. And let's see here. We could go here. Now, if we wanted to change either of these cheats, like the hotkeys for them, you could double click that, and then it brings this back up, right? So see right here how I have like F2 to activate, Control plus F2 to deactivate. I could come in here, instead of having Alt F1, I could change that to F2 and change this to Control F2, if you change something in your graphic for some reason. So you can get back to that stuff easily through this trainer generator window. All right, now that we have that, we've got our sounds, we've got the look, we've pretty much got everything set up. You're going to click Generate Trainer. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Yeah, okay. You don't have to use the trainer generator if you don't want to, blah, blah, blah. You can just say okay to that. It's fine. All right, this is going to say, where do you want to save it at? And then I'll have a final trainer exe. We'll go Demo, click Save. Okay, this window pops up. Tiny means that the person's going to have Cheat Engine installed on their computer for the trainer to run. Gigantic means that it will include Cheat Engine and everything needed, DLLs and whatnot, inside the trainer itself, which means you'll just end up with a bigger file for your trainer, whatever. So take your pick there. Target process, you need to know if it's 32-bit or 64-bit, all right? And then you just select the appropriate one. If you're using any features like Speed Hack, or you need the VH debugger or any of that stuff, then you can check any of that here. You could change your icon here if you need to. Compression, this is like how much your application or your trainer will be compressed, which, if you have max, depending on how much stuff you have crammed in there, it can take a little bit for your trainer to become functional as it, deals with decompressing whenever you open it or whatever. Maybe. That's typically how it works. I don't quite know how Cheat Engine treats decompressing stuff for the trainer. But anyway, add folder, add files. I haven't messed with this much. The one time I tried to add a file to do something, my trainer wouldn't compile. So probably absolutely something that's got to do with me not knowing what the hell I'm doing with that. So anyway, all right, so now you can click Generate. And boom, the trainer has been successfully generated. All right, so from this point, okay, let's say that this is going to be a trainer that you're going to sell or you're going to, maintain. You don't want to start over from scratch doing all this again. So what you can do is right here in this form designer, let's close that. Okay, you can click File and Save. And that will save this look, everything that you have set up, so that you can load it and come back in here and, let's say we had a typo in our image, and we've already closed out, and we're like, shit. Well, you just load it back up, you load this, load the form, and then you can just come back to here, and where your image is, where is the image at? Why am I blind right now? Anyway, so where you would select your image in here, basically you would just select that again and change it out to whatever your new one is. Oh, I'm a retard. It's right here. All right. So right here, you would just come back and load the new version of your image. All right. So that's it. Now you've got your trainer. So I'm going to go in to finaltrainer.exe. And then I'm going to load it up. Yep. And here's the trainer. All right, now, because I'm using the image from my actual trainer that has all this stuff in it, what we just created, I don't have all these cheats in it. I just have this one cheat that has, even though it says cheat 0, cheat 1, it's related to the same cheat. We have enable, disable, right? So now what I will do is pull up HuniePop in Steam, and we will test out our trainer to make sure that it works. All right, come in here, click to start. We'll go to this night one. So the the cheat that I had is the insta-topless cheat, so that whenever you're doing the bedroom puzzle, instead of having to get to the point with your score where the top comes off, you just make it instantly come off. So we'll ask on night date, and what I'll go ahead and do is load up my other trainer, my actual trainer, where I can enable max score right here and go ahead. Alright, so I'll do 6 and then make a score and then control 6 to disable that, and then close my trainer, the real one. Alright, so you have to pass this puzzle in the game to get to the bedroom puzzle, and I'm going to have to blur out boobies here in a second. Let's load it up. Alright, so pretend that in this graphic all that I had is Alt F1, Alt F2 for enable, disable. Alright, so as soon as we hit Alt F1, our trainer should work. So here we go. There it goes. It didn't play the sound. I don't know why it didn't play the sound for activating, but anyway, we see that the cheat worked. Her top came off, and that's exactly what we wanted. So, you know, you would want to go through and check all your cheats. Make sure that enabling or activating and deactivating works, you know, and there'll be a little bit of trial and error, but that's essentially a quick and dirty way to create a trainer using Cheat Engine without having to worry about doing all sorts of programming craziness and whatnot. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please give me a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If this is your first time seeing my videos, please subscribe. I do these often. I have a whole series of Cheat Engine videos. Go check those out. If you're interested in the actual trainer itself, you can go to my Patreon, which I have a link in the description below. It's just patreon.com/sneakymofo, and you can donate $1 or more if you want and have access to my premium trainers through some of that stuff. So go there, check that out as well. But anyway, thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.